SJP, and this is the Academic Foxhole. Welcome in to the Saturday PS4 streaming day, where I am streaming Horizon Zero Dawn. This is, I think, session 20 of Horizon Zero Dawn, where we're just hanging out, doing our thing. I am a Twitch-affiliated streamer, and I stream on Thursdays and Saturdays on my channel. Thursdays I do Mac games, and Saturdays I do PS4 games. And right now we're doing Where the Water Tastes Like Wine on Thursdays and Horizon Zero Dawn here today on Saturdays. In addition to that, I am also a GM, an RPGer, a GM and player in tabletop RPGs. And I am today at 6 p.m. Eastern Time GMing the series finale of Night Witches Toil and Trouble on Geek Space TV. And that is a World War II game about Soviet airwomen who are flyers, and so that's, that's the end of that show, and I'm very, have got feelings about it. You can also find me this coming Wednesday on Super Duper on off_the-table, which is a Fate Core game of superheroes, sort of set in the 40s, and that's sort of exciting. What else can I tell you? I should also tell you that at the moment I might look weird because I'm wearing a shoulder brace, and that's making me look a little strange, but I think it's fine. My shoulder is okay. I just have a rotator cuff situation going on, and so I'm just getting a little bit of support for my shoulder, in case you were wondering why I look lopsided or like what is that? That's what that is. So what are we doing? We are playing Horizon Zero Dawn. We've been doing a lot of side quests and running around, as you sometimes do. And right now, I think the thing we should do, there's a main quest to figure out about the woman who might be our mother. And I feel like we should do that. But on the other hand, there are other things we could do along the way. I think we should just start heading that way and seeing, hey, Vulpes, how are you doing? Seeing if we get to the quest where our mother is. But there's like another quest along the way that we could maybe also do, which is working with the Hunter's Lodge to try to, do good deeds. Crit Witch! Hi, Crit Witch! Salute. How are you doing? What are you all up to? I just wanted to let you know, because I see that I look weird. I feel like I look lopsided and strange, but it's because I'm wearing a shoulder brace. But that's all. Just so if I look lopsided and strange, it's because I'm wearing a shoulder brace. Now I feel so lopsided and strange, everyone. I'm just looking at my options. I have options. I can... It's fine. You know what? It's fine. You will all deal with me looking lopsided and strange, right? You won't judge me? You might judge me, I don't know. Hey, Control Freak, how are you? How is it over there in good old Blighty, in the merry old England? You don't? Okay, alright, as long as you don't notice, I feel like I notice. Okay, so I'm supposed to gather a Stormbird and a Thunderjaw trophy, are things I'm supposed to be doing for the... Where are our people? For the, what do you call it? Hunter's Lodge. And, this, a curious proposal, go to Dusk Mesa. What is that about? Sorry, there's just like a, there's a thing over there. What is this? I can get a Stormbird over here, and... tell me about why today's pretty awesome. You should tell me about why that is, because I want to know. Also, I think we could... Let's just, So here's what. We're gonna just go down here. Right? We're gonna just do our job. We're gonna... What is this? Yeah, no. We're gonna just zoom over here. Jump up there. Do this thing in this area. And then we're gonna... I realize it's just because our mom is really far away. Like, she's, like, way up here or something. Yeah, I mean, she's super far away, and we're going to go and look into her, but let's just go here first. Because that's faster. I'm just saying. So, Control Freak, what have you been doing today? Oh, Crit Witch. You finished the last episode of Night Witches last night, huh? Yeah. I got a couple more chapters of my book edited, had a meeting of the local social justice group. That sounds amazing. What is your book on, Control Freak? And so, Control Freak, what is your book on? Crit Witch, how did you feel about the end of, Night Witches? Did you feel, yeah, how did you feel? Did you feel happy? Yeah, the pause, right? Yeah. Yeah. For the record, though, players chose that. That's all I'm saying. Right? Players choose their marks. That wasn't me. I mean, the books in Sword and Sorcery. Oh, well, that's cool. A Sword and Sorcery fantasy thing? That's neat. I mean, again, right? Players choose their marks. They made those choices. They're like, I'm going to witness the death of a friend or a loved one. And I was like, okay. If that's your choice, that's what's going to happen. So, you know, yes. Currently going through editing to A, make it better read, or read better, and B, make the fact that the MC is by a little more obvious. Oh, that's awesome. Yeah, it was good. I mean, it wasn't good for them. That's not what I want. I mean, you know, that was sad for them. But, you know, what are you supposed to do? People make choices, and sometimes those choices give you death. And nothing I can do about that. Well, actually, I mean, technically, I suppose there are things I can do about it, but they're not things I'm gonna do about it. Yeah. It made me really sad, too. I mean, I was very sad because I really like Alexei. Actually, there have been a bunch of people who have died that I feel sad about because I like them. But that is also what it is, you know? I mean, apparently I also have a full inventory yet again. Yeah. I don't know what's going to happen today. I don't know what they're all going to do. I don't know how they're going to deal with all the things coming their way. Like, there are a lot of questions that I don't have the answers for. And I mean, will they even all survive? I hope so. I mean, I think it's likely they won't die now, but you never know, right? I mean, that's the thing. It's right near the end of the war. I mean, and they could die. I hope not. Oh, phew, I was worried that you were talking about the last episode. No. There's one more. There's today, later today is the last episode. And, yeah, I am hoping, I hope they all make it. I mean, I think it's very likely they will all make it, to the end of the war, I think. But, I mean, this is the thing. Sometimes it's that last moment, right? And you think you've got it, you think you'll be okay, and then at that very last minute, something happens, and then you die. So, I am hoping that that does not happen and they all make it to the end of the war. Apparently there's a campfire around here. There it is. Alright, so I'm trying to find, right now, in case you're wondering, I hope nobody dies. I know, that's the thing about Lena. She is clearly not in a good space right now, and I am concerned about her longevity. If you know what I mean. I am concerned about... Alright, so we are looking for, or at least I am looking for...
Good. I can use this.
Okay, so I just need to head north a bit more, is what I need to do. Or let's head west a bit, east. We can head west, hit this, get this other campfire, and then head north to try to get a Stormbird. And I think if we do that, we'll be in a good space. Yeah, no, this is the last episode, and I have feelings about it. I do. I worry about Lena. I worry about her because I am concerned about her mental state. She has taken a lot of... She's gone through a lot. But here's why I'm a little bit hopeful. What are you hearing? That. I'm hearing something really heavy. I don't know what that is. Yeah, so I'm a little worried. Oh, hey. No? Are you gonna let me shoot you? Apparently not. Come on. I keep missing it. I just want to hit it. Come on. You know, look, there's the thing, and I want to be able to hit it. No. You know what? It's fine. It's fine that I cannot hit it right now, because I will... Hey, Krellin! You were researching dragons for no reason. I feel like there was a reason. What were you...
Let's make this quick.
Okay, hold on. I like this rope thing a lot. You know what? I just... For giggles, what do Stormbirds, what are they about? Hey, PH, how are you doing? I just feel like I need to know all there is to know about dragons, the dragons of Shadowrun. Really? Why might that be? I am in no way concerned. Okay, there's a Stormbird. Hold on. Stormbird, I'm going to, oh, hi. This thing is, can I warp? We're going to... I'm doing a thing. And I don't know how great this is, but we're doing it. Oh, gosh. This thing is really big. And, This is a lot of stuff. You know, I don't even know what this thing is weak to, and I feel like I should find out things about it. This is a Stormbird. It has no weaknesses. It is a super cool bird, and it has no weaknesses. So, that's cool. By cool, I mean somewhat distressing. Why don't I... So it has no weaknesses, but I can switch weapons to... I want my, sharp shot bow, and I'm gonna put it here for the moment, because I think, gonna tear blast it because I think I can try to get rid of all of its stuff. This is a really big thing. And now, let's... Why am I in water? Why am I in water right now? This is bad, everyone. Yeah, no, this is really bad. I'm in water and that is not where I want to be. I'm in water and dying. Okay. Where are you? Can I... This thing is really big. Oh gosh, and it does not stay down long. Wow. Okay, let's, oh, this thing is really big, and I'm very concerned about this. Yeah, I've got a bunch of components I'm taking off of it, which is cool, but this is bad. Oh. Oh gosh. Okay. Does anybody else feel like this is super bad? Oh. Alright, we're gonna just try to see what we can do. This thing does not stay down long, so that's awkward, but okay. Oh, you've seen Superba. This isn't it. That was a movie. Okay, guess what? I have no ammo. So that's cool. And I also have no ammo there. And also very cool. And let's see if we can... Let's, ground this bird. This is, I have never fought this bird before. And, so I just want you to know that I have never done that, and it's really intense. And I'm trying to, like, I'm trying, everybody. Oh gosh. Just for the record, I really like these, I like this rope bit a lot. It is perhaps less effective than I would like it. Shoot in the cloaca. That's what I want to do. I want to shoot it in the cloaca. I suppose it is. That's true. This is big, and okay, here we go. Oh my gosh. It's like, it is like I'm Spider-Man, and I will honor the Spider-Man-ness of it all. Go, go, go. I think I'm almost at it. Okay, I got it. Oh.
Okay.
I did kill it. I think there are components spread everywhere, and I don't know how many of them I can find, but... I killed this Stormbird, everyone. Spider-Man has killed the Vulture. It's me versus the Vulture. Dark and edgy Spider-Man confirmed. Yeah. And I got a trophy. So I did get what I was looking for. And so that's good.
That'll keep my stomach quiet.
So we just killed one of the things we needed. for this quest for the Hunters Guild, that was a really big thing to kill. It made me nervous. It made me feel unsafe. And do we
Smell
have
of rain. Air is heavy with it.
Oh, Ashley Birch's interview was really good on Between the Sheets. It was a really good interview. And I just don't know what to do with... Oh, hello. I don't know what to do with, what's-his-face? It was really good. I think, what's-his-face? It would be rude to shoot it in the ovipositor. I think that's also true. Okay, so... I'm going to... Thank you, Brian Wayne Foster. Thank you, PH. I was like, what is his name? Brian Wayne Foster. Thank you. And... okay. I've crafted lots of things. Let's figure out what we need to do right now. I need to get a Thunderjaw trophy, is what I need. Thunderjaws are... Really? Wow. So they're kind of far away, Thunderjaws. And I don't know how I feel about that. I also think there's I mean, Smudge McDickface, not Sam Riegel. The thing is, the Ash interview was also a large part of a Brian interview. Like, we learned a lot about him. And there's clearly... Yeah, he has sides to him. That smug thing is a bit of a persona he puts on. I'm gonna head north. I'm gonna head this way. And I don't know what I think about it. Yeah, I mean, he's clear. Oh, hi. Oh, wrong arrow. He clearly is like a person who's... Yeah, it's one of the few times you get to see him as a real person, and he clearly is also a real person who is complex and has things going on. It's just that we often don't get to see that about him. And, you know, I just don't know what I think about that. Like, I don't know what I think about his, the way he...
Tough, but I'm used to it.
Yeah, I just don't know. Like, and I'm not... Yeah. What is all this? Oh. That's a dead person. So, that's a dead person. I actually don't... I can't say how I feel about him. I don't know how I feel about him. I think that's what I would say, is that I don't know how I feel about him.
I can't spare the weight.
That is... I'm really sorry for the people who were murdered here. That's unfortunate. Yeah, I don't know how I feel about him. But I suppose on the other hand, it doesn't really matter what I feel about him. Like, I mean, he doesn't care what I feel about him. You know what I mean? And it's not like I'm going to meet him. So I suppose in some ways it doesn't really matter. Would you trust him to watch your bag when you go run an errand? Oh, PH, that's not a particularly good question to ask me, because I tend to be particularly trusting. I tend to trust people all the time. That tends to be, trusting random people is part of my default, which is probably not the greatest thing ever, but it also... That's what a trampler looks like. I tend to be particularly trusting of strangers, and I know I probably shouldn't be, but, I mean, I have often asked complete random strangers I don't even know to watch my bag. It's fun, at least 90% of random people are trustworthy. Yeah, right? Oh, right now we're talking about Brian Wayne Foster and how he was... Okay, so there's a trampler right there that I would like to get to. I think I need to get to that place right there. So we were talking about Brian Wayne Foster and his trustworthiness or not. And PH wanted to know how I feel about him, and I said I didn't actually know how I think he does let himself get wrapped up in the persona, but when he's dropping it, then I find him quite interesting. Right? There's something interesting about the non-persona him. Let's head north-ish. I still have not watched the Ashley Burst behind the screens because I have Rivals of Waterdeep and Black Light. Oh, no, that is fair. That is fair. There is, you know, that is understandable. So, I am heading this way. Alright, so my plan is, I have Drunkly's game on Scratica's channel queued up as the next thing I watch. Ah, yes, yes, yes. There's so much good stuff to watch. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's very, Oh, good. I should... Is that a one-shot that he's on? Or is he going to be on that multiple times? Do you know? I know that Scraticus often brings in people, in a one-shot sort of a way. Yeah, one-shot. I noticed they do that. Good for them. Right, because, Shell Game was on there for a one-shot. Now, Drunkly... Ah, yes, yes. It was apparently it was a campaign where different players played. Yes, that was the same one that Shell Game guested on. Okay, so we're here. We're gonna head. So this is the thing. We need to go up there, really far away. But right here's the thing we need to get to, like Scrat and crafting views were regulars, I think. So I am going to... I don't even know where I am right now. I'm going to head east so that we can meet this merchant, get the metal flower, and head our way towards this trampler site. This is going to be the goal. That's the goal. Oh, different... Oh, that was a different game? Oh. So they have more than one game where where people... Oh. Okay. So there's more than one game where people, swap bodies. Hello, Sawtooth. Got it. Oh, are they... So they're like, Oh, very nice. I missed it. So they are sort of like, I don't remember now. There's another channel where people sign up. Hello, merchant. Could I buy a treasure box from you for free? Nightbot, from what I gathered, Scrat runs a gaming university sort of thing. Come play with us and learn how it works. Oh. Well, that's cool. That's cool. I would buy weapons, but I'm still missing stuff. I should probably sell things. But I don't think I have anything to sell. But just in case, I'm going to check. Because, you know, it's probably better for me to sell things than just decommission them. But also, yeah. Well, that's cool about the Scraticus. It is nice that they have got... I'm going to sell these 2 turkey bones. Like, it's good. It's a good thing to be helpful and give people a space to learn stuff, right? But then I suppose they also have guests, and that's pretty cool. So, you know, good on him. I can't remember what I've watched there, but it was really good. Maybe it was Dot? Oh, Dot's very good. I think she's really excellent at what she does. I am very happy to be able to play in her face game. I mean, very excellent. Very excellent. And fierce! Oh. I just can't watch all the things I want to watch. Yeah, I know, me too. I know, me too. Are you saying that he might be biased because he's a mod? So that is possible. Alright, so somewhere around here should be... We are looking for the legally required to sing praises. PH, how many places are you modding for nowadays? Where are all of your mod spots? Because you mod a lot. And that is not a critique. It is just a note. As a non-mod, I've enjoyed Chelsea when I have caught her. Yeah, no, I think she's really good. I am looking for... There's a metal flower around here somewhere. The question is... Where is it? Well, with Drunkly not streaming, it's really just Lauren, GSTV, and Chelsea. But technically also still Drunkly as well. Alright, so there is going to be a metal flower. That's 4 channels, good for you. That's a lot. I'm only modding on... You're like, last I checked, you're like, unless people have surprised me. So where... Head south. Let's see. Let's head south and see if we can find it. Get some kind of big view. Surprise! You're also a mod? Alright, let's see. We are looking for... Yes. We're just gonna... But what if there is something to do? So I really want to get this metal flower, and I don't know where it is, but I feel like this looks like a possible spot for metal flowers. Maybe? Oh, here it is. Here it is. It's true. He does like modding. Let's see. We're not full with that metal flower yet. And I have 2 skill points, which is awesome. But I'm going to save them for maybe Strong Strike. Hey, Krellin, do you think you could stream just for a moment? I'm just, you know, for a second. I suppose I could do some of this stuff here, or maybe more forager stuff. Oh, I can have more healing, which would never be bad. Oh, hey Krellin, could you test a webcam? Yeah, healing is good. Alright, so here we are. This is where we're at. Goal would be to go up here for this trampler site. So why don't we make our way here first towards this metal flower and then up north, and then from there we can make our way to this Thunderjaw site. I think that is the best plan. So we want to head northeast. Well, no, just directly east I think we should do. In before, Twitch cloned PH so they can have him replace the auto mod for all partners as a partnership bonus. That would be pretty amazing. And there's never any problems with cloning. Right? I mean, cloning never causes problems. I mean, as far as I know. You know what? I think... next up, murder hobos. Yeah, that's right. Oh, you know, if Jer were here, I wanted to tell him something. But, I don't think he's here at the moment. But if Jer shows up, remind me to tell him something. And then you will, and then I won't remember what it is. But it's cool. That's fine. Yeah, no, I think Chelsea's super talented. Like, they're just like a bunch of really talented people running around. That is all that I'm saying. There was something else I was thinking about. I was thinking about... Okay, so there's this thing I've been thinking about, and I'm having thoughts about it. Right, that makes sense, because I've been thinking about it.
And one of these.
So there's a thing that I want to do, but then I was thinking about how that thing is different from other things. Okay, look, I understand that at the moment I am being super vague. Please know that I know it. See, that's why I don't do things. There's so many more talented people out there, and the world doesn't need another me cute white man. Oh, maybe. Having thoughts? Am I having thoughts about clowns? No. Hello, my friend. Why are you trying to attack me right now? I feel like you shouldn't do that. I feel like you should leave me alone. Excuse me. I'm being attacked right now in ways that I think are rude. Yeah, I'm being attacked right now. I'm feeling very attacked right now. So there's a thing that hold on. Hold on. Where are you? Where are you? There you are. Let me... I'm gonna try to remove some components off this thing. Like, that might help me some. Leave me alone! Also, you know what? I need to heal. Okay. And then let me do this. I forgot what this thing is weak to. Stalkers, what are they weak to? Fire? What is their deal? Ooh. Oh gosh. Yeah, this cat should be not a problem, but I forgot what it's weak to, which is awkward. Okay. It's okay, you got it. No, never clowns. Trapeze artists and silks, yes, but not clowns. Oh my gosh! Hold on. Things are trying to kill me. Oh. Oh. Okay, hold on. Okay. Ouch! Hold on. I've got birds. And... Oh. I don't think these are not bait, these are just big, still giant birds. You know, being in the face. Also, I don't think I have any healing herbs. My life is so sad. For a moment. We're gonna just... it a little bit. That's all. We're gonna just shoot it. And it's gonna be dead. Alright. Oh! Who's shooting me? Wait. There's more of them, which is really unfortunate for my life right now. Okay. Alright. What is that? I know, right? These folks are just camping, and I'm just like... You know, I feel like... I'm feeling attacked.
I can get out of this.
You can. Where is it? So, look, I want to tell you about this thing that I've been thinking about. I keep forgetting to tell you, but I have this thing I've been thinking about, and I was thinking about it, and then I was thinking about Hyper RPG actually. So there are a bunch of things I've been thinking about, and the thing I've been thinking about most at the moment is
Can't be too prepared.
something I've been wanting to do for a while, right? So there's this thing I've been wanting to do for a while that it was an idea that I had, and I wanted to do it. That reminds me of last night's Crazy Ex-Girlfriend. She goes on 3 dates, and each represents a different stage of romance. Childlike, teen, and adult. Oh! That sounds fun. I'm gonna hide for a moment. I'm just gonna hide. I did. I got distracted. When I realized they did that, I was so impressed with the writing. Oh. So there's a big convoy. We're gonna just let that go. I should probably just kill that convoy, but I'm not going to. Because I really have things that I want to do right now. Backspeak. And what I want to do is I want to get to this this place. Alright, so let me tell you about the thing that I've been wanting to do. It's a thing I've been wanting to do for a while. It's something I'm really interested in, and I had a thought about it for some time now. But then I was thinking about this. I'm being vague. Like, I realize I'm being vague. I'm sorry. I will stop being vague. Let me just not be vague. Do you know what I want to do? I want to do theater on Twitch. Like, I want to do a play on Twitch is what I want to do. I want to do things. I want to do a play. I think that would be really cool to do, you know, to do a play. Like a full-on, yes, I want to do a play on Twitch. I think that would be really neat to put a play together, and I was talking about some ideas about ways that it could be cool to do that, because I have thoughts about it. But then, and by the way, I want to do it. I think it'd be really cool. But then I was thinking about a thing that I don't like as much. And I was trying to think about the difference between what I want to do and this thing that I don't like as much. And what do I think that means? So, what is the thing that I don't like as much? So you can, I don't know, help me parse this. I don't like RPG games that are super staged as much. Like I like when I can tell that the RPG has been staged, that I don't like that very much. It's not my jam.
That'll help.
Was Titan's Grave staged? I just thought that, I didn't think that was staged, I thought that was just highly edited. By staged, I mean that they plan out plot points. Well, but I think there's a difference between railroady and planned, right? Like, I mean, you can play an RPG around the table that's super railroady without it being staged. I mean, like, you know, if... Oh, there was staging. Okay. All right. Yeah. Yeah, and I was thinking, that's an RPG, though. Theaters of production, yes. So slightly different, yes. That's the question, right? So, because right, there are RPGs that are very railroady, and there are players that love the railroad, right? And, yeah, Secret, which is sort of where. Where is this? Oh my goodness. This is not a great place to be. Let's not be here, everyone. Let's be somewhere else. Let's be somewhere else. Let's head north. Let's not be where we're at this moment. This does not look like a good place to be. Let's not be here. Yeah, so there are RPGs where the GM is going to say, hey, I want, I think you have to be upfront with what you're doing, yeah.
This will help.
I think I remember Hank Green talking about having Wheaton tell him to react in certain ways. Yeah, that's not my preference. If I'm watching an RPG, I want the players to have autonomy. Like, that's pretty important to me. Yeah, that's, like, it's, yeah. It's pretty important to me for players, if we're playing an RPG, to have their autonomy as players. Oh, yeah, that's not my bag. That is not my preference. That is not, that's not, yeah, it's not my preference. I will just tell you. That is not my preference. And I still really enjoy Aloy, the redhead, can only hide in the red grass patches. No, that's actually really true. That is true. And look, I will say this, and this is like an important point, that there are super, super railroady games, and there are players that really like railroady games, but a railroady game is not the same thing as a staged game. Those are actually very different. Right? So, like, in a railroady game, the GM doesn't say, hey, this is going to happen, I want you to react in this way. That's not what... And now we're gonna do a scene in the next, like, when you get to the thing, we're gonna do a scene, and there's gonna be a person there, and I want you to react this way and do this stuff. Like, that's staged. Railroading is where there is a plot with a beginning, middle, and end, and the players are like, woo, plot. Do you know what I mean? Like, they you know, because, again, there are players for whom it is not a railroad, it is, what do you call it, not a railroad, it is... What's the word? Yeah, where does... Right. Oh, my thought that was actually not staging, but checking in to make sure that she was emotionally safe, or that that was like a safety tool, right? So that seems to be about making sure your players are emotionally going to be safe. And you know, I think that's okay. Glint Hawks. Is that a Glint Hawk? What is that? Yeah, that's a Glint Hawk. There are a lot of Glint Hawks here. Yeah, so that seemed to me to be about safety.
What made these flowers? And why?
Oh, I think that was already I think that was earlier, right? y'all need to leave me alone. I'm hiding. Like, I'm really hiding right now.
Be fascinating if they weren't looking for me.
That there, that, I think that is about, yeah, that's just, hey, yes, right, yeah, that's right, thank you, Krone. That's what I was going to say, right, yes, that's right, that is, that was what I was, you took the words out of my mouth, right, that if, somebody puts something in their backstory, it is polite if you're going to do stuff to just give a check-in, because, I mean, yeah. Now there are certain things that are perhaps
Sorry to spoil your fun.
there are certain things that could be considered more how do you I have a thought, and I'm trying to figure out what it is. I have a whole... I know Matt Mercer doesn't do that with his players, but I know that his players have been understanding that he does that. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Like, they already know as soon as I... Yeah. Right. Oh, gosh. Wait. There's a lot going on here right now. And the thing is, with me, I think I fall somewhere in the middle of that particular sort of... Ouch. I think I fall in the middle in the sense that... I've got a lot of things going on here right now, and I'm not really excited about the level of badness. Also, I'm out of ammo. And people are trying to kill me. It's cool, though. It's cool. So, what I wanted to say was that I'm somewhere in between, right? In the sense that... No, Fire's really good. This is why I don't like Saturdays so much. You play action games and are way harder to distract.
They're hunting me.
Easy peasy. So here's the thing, though, about this, right? When it comes to changes, for me, and I think everybody's a little bit different, and I think that I fall somewhere in between Matt Mercer and... what is in here? I think I fall somewhere in between Matt Mercer and... Well, I think it depends. So, for example, if somebody says, I have a mom and a dad, I wouldn't make the mom or dad a real huge jerk without asking, because that is a kind of a personality thing that I think their character... like, that feels like crossing a line. Now, I might make their mom or dad a secret assassin, because, okay, let me put it this way. If there are things that their character would not know about their parent, I have no problem putting that thing in the game, right? Although, I often find you often get a sense of, how do I put this? Also, I don't always play action games on the Saturdays. Sometimes I play other things. So how am I going to phrase this right? Like, for me, there's a balance. For me, there are certain things that feel to me...
These will keep?
Yes. Like, yes. I think... But for me, like... I am a bit more careful about basically, I look at what the player has given me, and anything that is... Alright, so I'm heading... This is where I'm heading right now, to this trampler site. Okay, so I look at what the character has given me, and anything that the character has established that anything the player has established that their character knows will remain true as something that their character knows. I will not invalidate anything they put on their sheet if as something that their character knows.
Save this for later.
It is a tricky line to walk, but what I think is, okay, so let me tell you things that I have, like, because there are things that I will do. I will give people surprises about their backstory that they don't know, but I try to make sure that all the surprises I give are surprises that Alright, I need to kill that thing. Wait a minute, what are tramplers weak against? Before I go crazy. So for example, I had a character who, not my character, but a player in my game, whose mother died. Weakness against freeze. Whose mother died... Thank you. So I had a character whose mother died in an explosion. At least as far as she knew. That is what she was told by her father. She was not home when the explosion happened. She was not there. But as far as she knew, her mother died in an explosion. And when you tell me, as far as I know, my mother died in an explosion, that says to me that maybe your mother didn't die in an explosion. So what I did, because why wouldn't I do that, is I made it so that the mother didn't die in an explosion and that the mother was actually still alive. Because, that's good times. Now let me do this, and then let me do that, and then also this, and then, oh hi, how are you doing? How are you? I hope you're doing really well right now, trying to murder me, as you are doing. That's super cool, everybody. Murder. So, this is a little awkward right now. There are a bunch of tramplers right now, like more than one, and many of them are trying to kill me. And I find this super awkward, and I just want you to know that. My pirate... Okay, so right now, I'm going to hide for a second to... Okay. Anti-robot racist. My pirate's boyfriend was taken out of jail by a noble, stayed in her house for a few days, came home shaken, and was found dead the next morning by his own hand. Oh yeah, you told me about your pirate's boyfriend. Right? How your pirate is now looking for revenge. Right? You've got a revenge situation going on? Right, which is exciting. That, okay. But the trick is that I don't know what happened. Right. Yes. Right. And for me, or if that noble was even responsible. Right. And so for me, in those moments, what you've done is, I take this game as someone grew up with a fear of Zoids and as revenge fantasy. Right. And so for me, there's certain things, like, as a... I wonder if that's good. Oh, hey, you know what? By the way, I just thought about something. Do you know what I thought about? I just thought about that I have, Kill them all. Yeah, so I actually have some tutorial quests that I could do. Shadowcaster. What are these? These are tramplers? Kill 3 machines with proximity bombs. Rope Watchers, Grazers, Lancehorns. What is this? Attach sticky bombs to machines. So I've got a bunch of these. Okay, so I'm gonna do this because I've got a bunch of tutorials that I haven't actually, you know, done, and I think that I should. These tramplers are all very agitated at the moment, however, so I want to, you know, work that out. So I think it's a delicate balance, but I think that there are things that players clearly leave open that
Just stay out of their way for now.
that is like totally right. There are things that your players leave open that are available for you to play with without asking. Things like she did not see her mother's body. She heard her mother died, but that was clearly like an opening for me. So then her mother wasn't actually dead. Clearly, right? Because she left me an opening. I think that there are certain things where, like, I would have no problem having somebody's parent or loved one being really a secret spy if that worked out. But with the Sage, there were questions that I would have felt that I needed to ask Claudia personally ahead of time, right? Because it seemed like it seemed like, oh, well, that's fine too. That is also a fine thing. Can I call one of these over here for a moment? Because that would be convenient. But Claudia's character was clearly in love with the Sage. And if Claudia's character is in love with the Sage, before you go and make the Sage the absolute worst, maybe you want to check in with that character, because you know what I mean. Like you want to. We're gonna. I'm going to. Okay. There's a lot going on here right now, and I'm going to try to bring down as many of these things as I can. I've tied down 2 of these media machines. I'm gonna try to tie down another, and then I feel really good about my life. Here we go. I just want... Hey, guess what I did? I'm not sure. I'm actually not certain about that. Some of the language, I'm not certain. Some of the language was, felt a bit more in love than love, but I don't know. I mean, I'm a little unclear on that. There were moments where it felt like it was a bit more in love, because, you know, I was thinking about that moment when the Sage said, I can never love you the way that, I will never love you the way that you love me. That felt a bit more romantic love than just platonic love, but you know, there's more than one way to interpret that one, I think. Sparker resource. Let's get rid of some things, shall we? So I don't know. I'm going to disassemble all of those. And then pick these up again. Oh wait, before I do. But Rowan isn't... Oh, that's true, but This is true, but I just didn't interpret that as, I can't have platonic friend feelings for you from the way that it was phrased. I mean, it could have been. It just didn't feel that way. By the way, did I get a trampler heart?
Should have brought a cart.
I have some questions about if I got what I needed, because I really want trampler heart. Oh, but I don't think Pine was platonic with the sage. The sage was his messiah, but people aren't. See, I kind of thought it was both. I had that feeling that there was some romantic love, not just messiah love. I thought it was a little bit of both. But, again, could be either way. But I just got a vibe that was a little bit of both. I need to see if I have a trampler heart. Because that is what I'm looking for. And it looks like I don't have the heart. Let's pick that up. If I only had a heart, which I don't have. Yeah, I just got the vibe that it was a little bit of both. That there was some romance as well as that was the vibe that I got. But again, I don't know. Probably have to get Claudia to tell us that story. It just felt a little non-platonic. Right, it's true, they do. I mean, and nuns marry Jesus. Right? They actually, they are the brides of Christ. Nuns marry Jesus. The sage was a real jerk. Weird that he just abandoned all the charisma manipulation skills. Oh, yeah. I feel like it would not be. Yeah. What I want from you. Hold on, wait. Do I have any other quests? Like, he abandoned them because that was the deal he made with Anon. Yes, that is correct. I feel like I might have more tutorials I can, let's see. Kill machines with proximity bombs. Attach sticky bombs to machines. I don't know if that's really great for them, but because I feel like, oh, Shadow Hunter Bow, shoot plates from machines. Sure. Let's do that. I feel like this thing is very plated, and I feel like this could be good. Maybe I can shoot a bunch of plates from. Oh, I just killed that real fast. That wasn't what I wanted to do. Well, give me it. I got a trampler heart, everybody. I don't have space for it, but I have it because this is something that I've been looking for. Let's make space in our... Oh, my poor inventory. Why is this even my life? What can I get rid of? Oh, wait, before we do that, let me build stuff. That. I have to believe in the heart of the trampler. Yeah, so for me, I think, like, I'm super fine with, messing with people's backstories, but only in ways that seem fair. And I acknowledge that what is fair is probably also subjective. But there are things I would check about. Yeah. Yeah. That's what I would say. Right? There are things that I would just check on because I would want to make sure it's fine. So, we did what we needed to do there. We just need to... We have a quest. Where is it? I shot no plates. Let's do... I want to... It's the... errands. Deadly... So I want to go here. This is what I need. And show it on map. And we're just going to go to this Thunderjaw. We're just going to travel right there. That's it. We're just on it. Yeah, so I think, for me, I would never, I try to be respectful of people's backstories, and if somebody has created, like if somebody has created an NPC that is really important to their backstory, I would have a couple of discussions with them first. If I were going to do something kind of radical, I'd want to just check in with them, but I don't think of that as staging, right? I think of that as just sort of, you know, being careful of them as authors, right? Sort of go back to what Krellin had said earlier. Because I wouldn't want to be disrespectful. Now, that doesn't mean that I won't mess with you, because I will, but I will try to mess with a person in a way that feels respectful, basically. Let's see. We are looking for some Thunderjaw excitement. Oh, hey. What is this? Yeah, so I feel like, you know, I mean, I would never... Yeah, the more detail somebody's given me about somebody, the more careful I think you have to be when it comes to messing with it. I've had my backstory show up a couple of times where I was like, I wish we'd had a chat before, so you understood how I saw this character. Yeah, right. Yes. Right, if somebody's important, I'm going to want to try to check in with them to make sure that I'm understanding how they see the character, right, PH, so that I can, yeah, right, but because that becomes important. Again, if there are behind-the-scene things, that's different. Like, maybe you think the sage is wonderful and perfect, but actually the sage is a scam artist. I might want to check in, right? I mean, you know, you have to... I just feel like there's like a line, but again, I don't feel like any of that is staging. That's just more like a check-in. In the same way that I might, if we hadn't talked about it, because we didn't do a session 0, which we should have done, or if this was a thing that hadn't come up in the session 0 and I just wanted to check in, I might say, hey, are you okay with X, Y, or Z, right? I mean, for example, we did not discuss death camps in our session. Like, nobody brought up death camps for Night Witches, the session 0. No one was like, I don't want death camps. But I wouldn't have put a death camp in there without having talked to them first. Just a check-in, right? And that's not staging, that's just a check-in to make sure everybody's okay. And I think that's important. Yeah, so I think there's a difference between staging and check-ins. This is, I realize what the conversation is. Splatter Central is giving away passcodes to Tormented 666. Today's giveaway is sure to please die-hard Tormentors. Passcodes to Sneak Peek Tormented 666 free of charge. Experience the latest installment of Joe Knoll's seminal Splatter Hollow franchise right alongside our review staff. Rumor is 666 pours the gore, so grab one of 66 free passes by screaming, I want to get splattered, to Splat Send Holo and Data Corrupted. Yeah, I mean, Yeah, and again, I have done some things that maybe somebody might have said, oh, I don't know, maybe you should have checked in about that one. But, you know, you play it by ear. I think you play a little bit safe. That's what I'm looking for.
Scrabbling a bit.
That is a Thunderjaw. Its weakness to tear. Okay. So, I'm going to try to get to a place where I can attack this better. No, weakness to, oh, it's weakness to tears. Oh, dang it. I should have paid attention. Yeah, I don't know. So my problem is I wasn't considerate enough in my first go-around. Listening to this and seeing how streamer GMs handle things has shown me a lot. I assume that's where you get cut off. No weaknesses. Okay, well, tear is what we're looking like. Really, it looks like. A lot of things I did wrong. Yeah, I get cut off. Oh, and also, I think that it would be important to note that there are things that would be mistakes in some games, but then not in others.
Makes this a little easier.
In the sense that... What is that? What is that? I'm trying to, like Cyclona said with his contacts character, the game immediately taking away all his contacts or something. This is super loud and scary. Why do you... What is that? So I'm trying to take off a lot of components because I feel like that's the way to go with this thing. And now that I've done that, now I'm going to do a bunch of this. You know, I don't know. I think it's because I've been told that I need to, and I feel like that's probably a good thing. Maybe not. Why am I attacking them? What is wrong with me? Why am I so rude? Speaking of rude, do you know what? I'm gonna, this thing has got a... do you think this thing can be brought down with ropes? Because maybe not. I see what you're saying there. I suppose they are quite pricey. Well, that was not great. You know, this thing... Is it bad what I'm doing to this thing? Maybe it is bad. I don't know. Maybe she's not the good guy? Although my understanding is that these things are, harming innocent villagers. So, I wonder if she does ask, am I the baddie? Oh, I am out of ammo. Woo. Right. I've done a number on this thing though, haven't I? Wait. Oh, I know what I was saying. What I was saying was that some things might be mistakes in some groups, but not mistakes in others. So I think that one... And I think I think it's important to sort of be thoughtful about the ways in which something might not be a mistake in some groups. Like, some groups might have the expectation that you will destroy all their stuff. Who are you all?
In the name of the sun, fight back!
Oh, hi. I've got friends, apparently. Which, that's cool. I'm... Oh, this thing. I think we're gonna be okay with this one, except that I really am out of ammo. That's awkward. Yeah, I was thinking about... I don't think robots are indigenous. I'm just saying. I feel like... robots... Yeah, I was like, let me just craft real quick. Just real quick here. And...
Can't carry more.
Oh, hey, I've killed all the machines. I need a Thunderjaw lens. They do have to come from somewhere, but I think that they are built as opposed to... No, I just feel like that may be a tad different. And I'm gonna craft some things, hoping that that will open up space in my inventory, because I have inventory management problems. I don't have anger management problems, I have inventory management problems, which is totally different. That's all. Okay. We were talking about... Oh, yeah. Oh, so there are these, autonomous factories that keep building them. So a lot of these... So there are all these robots that you'll see, like, scrappers. They'll go and they'll, like, dig up resources in the environment, then they give them to those shell crabs, which put them in their little boxes, and then they go off to a cauldron, and then there's a big assembly line where they just build more and more of these things. So there is a thing that happens. I suppose we'd have to wonder about indigeneity. What we think about what that means. I also am not quite certain that they're sentient. They don't seem to be sentient AI. They don't seem to be AI. They seem to be programmed, but they don't seem to be sentient. So, how does that then impact our question? If you are not sentient, what does that mean for...
Try me now.
Oh, no, I don't need that. Yeah, so I think that's a question. If you are not sentient, does that... But back to the original thing I was saying way back, because I totally forgot, I got distracted. The thing that I wanted to say was that I really want to do some theater on Twitch. I want to stream some theater. And I like the idea of putting on a play, right? Putting on a play on Twitch. I think that could be really cool. And I was talking to some people. Maybe that's what I mean? A scripted play. A scripted play. My cat is sentient but isn't sapient. Okay, so I mean sapient. I mean sapient. That's what I mean. I mean sapient. Gosh. There are a lot of things hanging out here that I'm going to pick up. I mean sapient. I'm I'm a monster, and I made it. Hello! Hey! Welcome in. Welcome in, Ice Bunny. It is nice to see you. Sapient is what I mean. I mean sapient. Okay. Sentient means it can sense its surroundings. It means it's capable of rational thought. Okay, I mean sapient is what I mean. Alright. So, we've done that. We've done a bunch of things that we need to do. I think at this point we can probably... Where are we? I think we can... Oh! PH, what kind of food are you going to make yourself? And will it be delicious? So I think we can probably do this quest where we try to find out about our mom. Oh, that is so far away! Sorry. I just get so frustrated at how far away that is. But let's do it. We've been threatening to do this all this time, so let's do it. Let's confirm. I mean, we're over full on our resources, but let's do it anyway. Oh, I do want to buy something. We'll find. It's fine. Don't worry about it. We are on our way. Halasaman. So, yeah, I want to do... And the thing is, I think that people do improv on Twitch. Like, I think Geek and Sundry and Hyper have both done improv on Twitch, where they get, like, an improv troupe. Because I remember them doing their singing improv. But,
This must be where Nassan was supposed to check in.
I would like... I'm interested in seeing... that over there. What do you think that is? What is that?
Sand in my throat. Burns.
Turning Act Criticize. Turing Act. 16-year-old Turing Act faces criticism from artificial intelligence rights advocates. June 8, 2060, a group calling itself the Center for the Liberation of Bodiless Intelligence is organizing a nationwide day of protest against the Turing Act. The legislation, hurriedly drafted in response to the escape of climate intervention AI Vast Silver, established strict limits on the sentience of machine intelligence and founded the MIE, the regulatory body that oversees the development and sale of AI. It remains unclear why the activists have waited until now to express opposition to a 16-year-old piece of legislation, but in a statement released through their Holo site, the CLBI called the Turing Act, quote, the effective rebirth of state-sponsored slavery, too long unquestioned by a public with a shamefully biocentric view of sentience. End quote. The statement continues, quote, the time has come to ask the hard questions about what it means to be human in a post-biological world. Turing and its supporters are on the wrong side of history. Mm-hmm. Did you know that there is a sport where you can beat someone up with a lightsaber? What's the word? What's that game from, oh, come on. What's the... from Harry Potter? I would really like a mount right about now. What is the... What's the one? The Harry Potter one? Where you fly on brooms? Thank you, sorry. Yes.
Not much farther now. Alan said he found an image of the woman I resemble on an ancient device. If she's my mother, why would there be traces of her all the way out here? So far from Norland.
Quidditch. Thank you, Krellin.
Who is she?
Her name is Elizabeth Sobek.
Oh.
You.
Who's this?
Spying through my focus again?
Uh-oh.
Well, go on. What do you know about her?
Uh-oh.
Stay on your present course, and before long, you'll know her as well as I do. Maybe better, but be wary. Maker's End is crawling with Eclipse troops. To help you deal with them, I've left some useful equipment just outside the ruins. Your focus will show the location.
She is hearing voices right now. I wasn't sure if that was this weekend, if I was behind.
Who is he and how does he know these things? He said Elizabeth Sobeck. What kind of name is that?
Oh, that's so cool. I like how, like, you don't necessarily know what old school names are like, right? That's... how was the sci-fi world? How did it go? Did you enjoy it? Like, what happened? What was exciting? Give us the details. I hope we're gonna find out stuff about her mom today. I am certain of it, and I'm excited. Where are we at? Oh, hey, look at this. It looks like we can get a charger and a save point. And that will make our lives a little bit more exciting. And that's what we should do. We should do that. Yes, so anyway, I want to do some theater. I want to do some...
I'll tuck that away.
And not just, oh, I'm going to do, like, improv sketch comedy on Twitch. But a play. That is a thing that I would be interested in. Hello, Timmy. Be my new Timmy. Thank you for being my new Timmy. Let's go over here. Oh, I have a mount now. I feel good about my life. Okay, first I was at the nerd bookshop and got the Fiasco. Oh, you got Fiasco. That's a good game. That is a good game. I like it. I am a fan of Fiasco. It is, right? Okay. We've discovered a bandit camp. A new quest. Small black box style or radio style in one room. Yeah, I'm actually... style in one room table read. Vulpes, that's a really good question, and I've been thinking about this a lot. I've been thinking about... So this has been... so if you want to know, this is one of the things I've been thinking about. I've been thinking about if I want to do theater on Twitch, how do I want to do it? What are the different ways to do it? What are the different sort of possibilities are there for doing theater on Twitch? Because you could do it like I was thinking you could do it like a radio play. You could do it like a black box style. You could do it like a table read. The obvious start for me would be something like Love Letters by A.R. Gurney, because that's two people sitting on a stage reading letters to each other. Something like plays with only one room could also work. But then I was talking to somebody else about this, and I think we're going to have more conversations about this later, that it might be really cool. I mean, while initially you could do a play, like a table read, like a regular play, but I would be really interested in getting a play commissioned. Commission a playwright to write a play that is meant to be done on Twitch, that takes advantage of the fact that you have people that are in different locations through Zoom, right? That where the fact that people are interfacing through Zoom might actually be part of the setting for the play. So I'd be really interested in seeing if there were some way to get a play commissioned that took advantage of the fact that this was going to be done on Twitch, on stream, on purpose. Including maybe some kind of element that would involve Twitch chat. I'm a little bit wary of Twitch chat because I have seen... yeah, right, like, exactly, like, you could, yes, right, yes, exactly, like, you could script in loved ones coming in and bringing in coffee, like, there are ways in which you might be able to do something really cool, and when it comes to audience participation, I'm a little wary because I have seen what happens when audiences participate. They like to troll. So there might be some kind of a way to allow audience participation, i.e. some kind of a slight element of improv, but have that be built into the game. Have that be built into the play, right? So what I'm really interested in right now is trying to find some kind of really cool theater piece. PH, you have feelings. Oh, it's Nil. I know this guy. But the one guy had the coolest Transformer Bumblebee cosplay with light and all the parts made in Warbler. Oh, that's cool. I mean, I have very mixed feelings about audience participation. I still feel like there's some ways to do it well.
I saw some of the places you'd been. The new settlers had no appreciation of craft. They'd already piled your work in a ditch. But I knew the signs to look for. The scrabble in the dirt, those surprised splashes. I did tell you we'd meet again.
Hi, Nil.
Nil. Still hunting bandits?
Oh, yes. I've been sharpening my blade, anticipating the scent of the fight. Don't get me wrong. These scum are odorous. A little panic and desperation really sets it off, though. Like an incense.
You
So,
are
what's
creepy.
your knife called?
Why would someone name a knife?
So much for small talk.
Are you ready?
Just don't think this means I enjoy it.
Wait.
Don't worry. We'll take your secret to their graves.
Okay, well that's cool. I'm not gonna do a bandit camp right now. I want to find out, although it is right here. I mean, it's right here. In my way. On my way to this business here. Right there. You know, it can happen well, but you need to encourage an environment where trolls will be slain. We saw at Hyper where some of it can be, that was too long. We saw at Hyper where some of it can be, really meaningful and impactful. It was too long. I mean, it's tricky because they're for example, the reason why I stopped watching DFA was because I hated the way that audience interaction happened. Like, I thought it was really off-putting, and I know the people who participated in audience interaction with DFA really enjoyed trolling. Like, that was what they enjoyed. They really liked to troll things, and they really enjoyed having trolling messages read out loud real time and having the players react to the trolling. That was not what I liked. I did not enjoy that, and it's the reason why I couldn't watch DFA, because I just did not enjoy trolling. And I think there's like an issue with, is your audience participation about raising money? If your like, what is the goal of the audience participation? Is it to raise money? If it's to raise money, is it for charity, or is it just to raise? Is it just an income stream for the channel itself? When the audience participation is an income stream for the channel itself, that changes the dynamic of that, changes what it's there for. If it is there for charity, that's different. If you're doing it for money, slay the trolls and say, sorry, thank you for the money, but we aren't doing that. Is it for... And then, like, what kind of interaction are you doing, right? I mean, there are really different... How have you designed the interaction to be disruptive of the story, so that at any time a player can then just put in some large-scale changes? What kind of changes? They're really different kinds of interactions. Do you know what I mean? And I don't necessarily think they're bad. And I guess Trooper rubs off on me. They had not really much Japanese merch, so I got some Star Wars chocolates, a pocket watch, and a doormat. Pocket watches are great. So I think there's a lot of different ways to do interaction. Some of them tied to money, some of them not. Some of them encouraging trolliness, some of them not. And actually, I was just talking to somebody about this. It's really interesting, because somebody was saying, well, the whole point of Twitch is audience participation. That's like, if you're not doing audience participation, there's no point doing Twitch. And I A, don't agree with that, but B, I also think we have to really rethink what we mean by audience participation. for example, is the only way that audience participation counts if the cast on the show reads chat and directly responds to it? Because I see a lot of shows where the cast does not read chat in real time and respond to it. And I don't think that show then has no audience participation. Is the only thing we count as audience participation when a member of chat can spend $100 and then have a bomb blow up and kill someone? Because I don't feel like that's the only way to do audience participation. And a doormat saying welcome to Arkham Asylum that I was looking for 3 years. Very nice. I think about, for example, audience participation can be something like having a Discord server where there is dialogue between the audience and the people on the show. It could be, I mean, I think about Shield of Tomorrow, which had a Discord server where the audience members created Aux Crew, right? They created characters that were on this LA ride, and they RP'd, and it wasn't happening necessarily online, although sometimes the cast would bring up the names of the various characters because they read it, and say, oh yeah, you know, on the night shift it's so-and-so and so-and-so. So I think that's right, that I think that there are really different ways of thinking about audience participation, and it's not just necessarily... basically, when you're streaming, like this one, like I'm streaming a video game, I'm reading your chat and I'm responding to you and we're having a conversation. Yeah, no, they totally did. It was really cool. It was really, really cool where there's all this RP happening on the Discord. Pasta and mushrooms. Oh, that sounds fun. Do you have a sauce? Is it a mushroom sauce? And so I think that sometimes people think that the only thing that counts as audience participation is the same thing that's happening right now between us. And I don't think that's true. I think the kind of audience participation that you would do in a video game stream like this would be different than could be different than the kind of audience participation you would do in a charity drive that's a one-shot and supposed to be really goofy, where, like, it's super gonzo and anything goes, and nobody takes it very seriously. We're all just there to sort of screw around, which would be very different, again, than audience participation when you're doing a staging of Romeo and Juliet. You know what I mean? Like, I think that that each one would be different. And I think that opening up, like being open about what audience participation can look like, I think would be important. And I also think, well, Ice Bunny, do what you want to do. Well, dang it. We're gonna go and kill all these. We're gonna kill them all. It's fine. We're gonna kill them all. It's okay. Let me change my inventory. Because we're right here. Since we're here, we might as well kill these bandits. And I need to put my... Yeah, right? This is what I mean. Like, and if you're doing, like, a goofy thing where, like, we're not supposed to take it very seriously, then sure, go ahead and do it. Romeo's an 85-year-old man. Yuck, yuck, yuck. Woo! You know, and, like, go ahead. Why don't I do my Shadow Blast sling? Maybe I can try that and see what that... Oh, no, I like my Shadow Rattler down there. And then... there. Audience participation in Romeo and Juliet. The left are Capulet's, the right are Montagues, with bits wars to which side wins. Like, we are a good influence. Right? And is that... Yeah. Let's get out of my way. I need to kill this person. Ah! You got in my way! Nil, you ruined my life. Let me kill this person. There we go. Right, like, and maybe you want to do a bits war where every single thing is sort of done by a bits. Like there are a lot of different ways to do it, right? And I'm not saying one is better than the other. I'm just saying
that nearly skewered me.
I'm just saying that there are different ways to conceive of audience interaction, and some I personally like better than others, but that doesn't mean that they're bad, because some people really like, you know, these things. And people have different
Never know when I might need these.
needs. So yeah. I suppose what I'm saying is that I think it's important to recognize that there are different ways of doing audience participation and embracing trying to think of as many different ways as possible. That's really interesting to me. I think also you're bending over. Stop it. Oops. Oh no. This is not good. Everybody? Bad. This is bad, everyone. I need to, I'm gonna just go over here for a moment and let them relax. They need to just sort of chill out. Just a little bit. I think that would be really useful for them. It just be a little bit less. Butt shot. Okay. Yeah, we're gonna just... I mean, sometimes having chat and interact with each other about what is going on. Yeah. No, that's another thing, Critwitch. For example,
It'll take forever to dry.
That was the thing I was thinking about that I forgot to say. Thank you, Critwitch, for bringing that one up. That sometimes audience interaction is actually just the chatting with each other. Like, it doesn't necessarily have to be... right? Like, that is also a form of interaction. And I think that recognizing a diversity of what interaction can look like... Yeah. And I am... Yes, 100%. Like, and I think that's also a form of interaction that we could think about and ponder. And...
Not a live one.
Sort of recognize that there are different ways of doing interaction and... Oh, hi. What is happening right now? That's awkward. That was really frightening sounding, and I didn't like it. I was like, oh, that sounds bad. Let me see if there's something I can do. Because I feel like some of these people are super dangerous, and dangerous in ways that I don't feel good about. And some of them can see me. And I would like that not to be the case. And they're trying to kill me, some of them, and also I would like that not to be the case. We're gonna just, you know, we're hanging out a little bit. Gonna just, you know, gonna be... Yeah, some of these people are not my friends, is I think the best way to phrase this. So yeah, I just think that there are a lot of different ways to conceive of audience interaction, and I don't think one is better than the other, but I think...
That's right. You're in here.
Actually, this is what I'm going to tell you. This is what I've been thinking about quite a lot recently. That I really want us to be thinking about more than one way to do things. and I think that we too quickly just get into a kind of groupthink about possibilities. So I think there's more than one way to stream successfully. I think, because, you know, how do I put this? People say things all the time that actually frustrate me quite a bit, and they'll say things like, well, you know, the only way to do a successful RPG is to do it like insert name of famous thing here. And I actually don't think that's true. I think that there's more than one way to... Why is my handling so bad? My shots are going really wide. They're like... This is not good, everyone. Ouch. Yes, right? And I just sort of want to honor that I think that there's more than one way to do things and be successful, that we don't have to all do it the exact same way. And that if we could just maybe allow for the experiment. And why are my shots going wide? I personally like smaller streams where there is time to read and respond to... Oh, but see, that's also another whole situation where there's so many people that you can't have a conversation with chat even. And that's like a whole nother thing altogether, right? But yeah, one thing that sort of makes me concerned is that we have this sense of like, these are the best practices, but I don't actually think that... I just feel like Twitch is still so young, it's still so new, that there's still a lot of things that can be done, and I just want us to keep experimenting and keep trying out new things and not deciding yet that it's already done. Do you know what I mean? If you see what I'm saying. If you see what I'm saying. I hope so. Oh, there's no way. Basically, I just want... People do still... But you know what, though? People still do experiment, but there's a lot of discussion. I hear a lot of people making very... oh yeah, but then it didn't do well. People, and I hear people say, I've heard people say, oh, yeah, PvP arenas are just not going to work, right? There's so much conventional wisdom about what does and what doesn't work on Twitch, right? It didn't work out, and so people are like, well, you can't do it. Like, there's no point in doing a PvP arena because they won't work. And they're like, well, it didn't work that one time doesn't mean it's not going to work. And I hear people say all the time things like that. They say things like, well, you know, the only kinds of games that will really work on Twitch are really narrativist games. Or the only... Like, people, they say things like this all the time. And I don't... It's not... That makes me unhappy. See, Krellin, this is another thing that I would... This is the thing. Just because it didn't work that one time doesn't mean that the problem is PvP. Yes, thank you again, right? So people will say, oh, well, you can't do this, you can't do that. But I was like, well, hold on. That's not even necessarily true. But people... I think that people... A groupthink happens real fast, where people will decide that this is the way to go, and this is what will be successful, and they want to try to... well, but see, the thing is, I think you should want to think how you want to do anything, and everything, to be honest. I think that question of how you want to do something, you should think about that no matter what it is that you're doing. Are you doing, a narrativist game, you should still think about how you want to do it. I don't think that anything is exempt from needing a think. Send me the shade. I'm ready. I just think that people are sometimes too quick to dismiss options. When Hyper's gauntlet could have worked but had terrible hosts and got caught in their cash mentality, when planning to do things on Twitch, I suggest asking how would Zach Eubank do this and then do the opposite. Although they're doing really well right now. They're doing really well. They are... I think that people are very excited about Koluk, which has been getting a lot of really good feedback I've been hearing about that. So that's... you know, I mean, so there's some really cool stuff that's happening over there at the moment. Which, good for them. Yeah, I mean, I think that Gauntlet could have been good, and I think I've seen too many times people just get too caught up on really narrow. I mean, people have told me things that I was like, I don't agree. Say what you want, but Zach shepherds the early days of some interesting stuff from CR. Oh yeah, that is certainly true. Yeah, I mean, I've heard people say things like, oh, you can't, like, they have these ideas, and oftentimes they're based on Critical Role, but also not what Critical Role does. It's based on, like, an idea of Critical Role that was not even actually accurate to what Critical Role even does. So I just feel like the medium is still so young. Like, it's still so young that
This'll help.
I don't think that we should close our mind to things. I don't think we should decide already that the things that are most successful are X and Y, and that Z doesn't work, because I think there's still a lot. I think there's still a lot that could be done. I still think an arena show could be they must have been the same way for people doing... No, I think this is actually true, right? That in the very beginning of TV, people experimented quite a lot and did a lot of different things, and then some things became wildly popular, and...
I'd have to leave something else behind.
And then some things became wildly popular and everyone started doing the same thing. Anna thought you had to be in the same room for... Yes, it's true. She did. For a long time, she thought that you had to be in the same room or it wouldn't be successful. There was a time when Zach thought that serious shows would not work. When they moved, I remember he was saying, after they moved to Los Angeles, that they were going to, when they were doing the 10 Candles, that they were going to experiment with doing dramatic shows because they didn't think they would work, but maybe they would. When TV first started, there were people shouting how XY would never work because it did. Yeah, yes. I mean, that's exactly right. And I just think it's too soon to start thinking that the only way to be successful is to do it this one way. I think it's too soon. I think that there's still a lot of space to do different things. Where am I going right now? This is a really large bandit camp. Side note. And... we're just gonna do some murder. Yeah, and the thing is, I've seen too much sort of conservatism in what people think can happen, and that makes me sad, right? Just a little bit too much. RPGs won't work if you're in different rooms. RPGs won't work if, like, arenas won't work. RPGs won't work unless they're rules light. If they're not rules light, they won't work. If they're not, like, just a lot of that. And I think
Lion's thirsty for rain.
I don't.
Me, not so much.
Ooh. Yeah, RPGs won't work if the cast is all POC. RPGs won't work if the cast aren't professional improvisers. RPGs won't work if... I mean, there's just a lot of...
That alarm will wake up the whole camp.
And Rivals...
more besides.
And Rivals is great. There we go. Okay. Like, in Rivals, yeah, so I just, or, I mean, people are like, oh, well, how do you do this? And I think, one of the things I've also heard is that basically, ooh, and most of those people had never played before because they were made to feel like RPGs weren't their space. Yeah, that's right. By the way, I just took care of that bandit camp. Boom. All stealthy style. And I feel really good about it. I feel like I was stealthy. Thank you. Let me trade with this merchant. Yeah, so I kind of think that people start thinking, oh well, you need to have improvisers or it won't work, or you need to have people who are like I think there are all these ideas and about what will make something work, and I actually think there are a lot of things that can work. I don't think there's just one thing, and I there's a weapon that I think I can get now. It's the what is this? A Tear Blaster. A Thunderjaw Heart, which I don't have. But I can get a Shadow Warbow now, which will be the upgrade that I'm looking for. Yes. And I will equip it here. And all I need now is a Thunderjaw Heart. So I can get that Tear Blaster. And that's really good. And I think I can sell some stuff. Yeah, so this is the thing I think about a lot. I just think about the ways in which... Because the thing is, I've had people tell me stuff all the time. Things that I have disagreed with them, but people are not going to listen to me. People are not going to listen to me, which is fine. Are there video games where your character is unequivocally a good guy? I imagine so. Well, hold on a second. Are there video games where your character is unequivocally a good guy? If one thinks of morality as being subjective, then no. But I think that there are games where it was the creator's intention that you are unequivocally a good guy. Whether or not we then think this is true or not, if we want to sort of deconstruct goodness, I think that is always doable. But I do think that there are games where it was the intention of the game designer that you are unequivocally a good guy. For example, I would say something like Donkey Kong. I think the designers of Donkey Kong imagined that you as Mario is unequivocally the good guy because you're trying to save the princess. Note, I'm going to argue that using violence to solve problems does not make you unequivocally a good guy. So if for your criteria the protagonist is not allowed to use violence, so for example, if someone is trying to murder someone and you stop that murder by killing that person, you're now a bad guy. Then, so like if any kinds of use of violence makes you a bad guy, right, including stopping the Holocaust makes you a bad guy, I think you can still do Donkey Kong, right?
If ever I saw it,
Uh,
too much blood
you're a bad guy.
and the machines ever angrier.
But there are games where you never kill anyone, where you do not commit violence on people. So now, okay, well, hold on a second. So when you say violence makes you a bad guy, do you include property damage? That will be my next question. So are you automatically a bad guy the minute you commit property damage as well? So that would be my next question.
This is a twilight time.
Because I believe, let's spell the ancient sculpture. Because I think in Donkey Kong, right, you do not commit any violence against people or beings, against living things. There's no violence against living things in Donkey Kong, although you can get the hammer and destroy barrels. So if property damage makes you a villain, then I suppose Donkey Kong would be out. Okay, so then Mario and Donkey Kong. Because Mario in Donkey Kong does not commit violence against any living beings, and while he does engage in property damage, that property damage is against barrels.
And the machine's ever angrier.
I don't. Krellin is saying that self-defense still makes you a bad guy. So according to Krellin's criteria, any violence, including self-defense, makes you a villain. Makes you a bad guy. So self-defense does not make you a good guy. Self-defense or the defense of others still makes you a villain. So he doesn't ever do anything with Donkey Kong because Donkey Kong always escapes. Okay, so vegan iced coffee. I must say I now have confirmed that almond milk is nothing more but so much sadness in a mug. There is no reason to quit. Actually, I think Donkey Kong never actually gets to the princess, right? Because he's always... What is this? Oh, I have to talk to Nil. Alright, fine.
It's one of those savages I don't like.
Right? I think before he gets to the princess, before Mario can get to the princess, she's... Penelope. Penelope?
Need them soon enough.
Well, we're talking about within the game world, right? You can whether or not this person is a villain in the game world. We're not talking about whether or not they're real people isn't relevant. Well, now this becomes a question actually as well. Is there Krellin, are you making a distinction between not being a bad guy and being a good guy? Because I presume...
Remember how the blood pounded in your ears? They'll ring later, in the calm. It's a call to arms, from your inner desires.
Or a cry for help.
I wouldn't fight it.
I can tell.
You were a soldier?
So you used to be a soldier. You fought for the Karja?
For them, against them. An empire always finds its wars. You can't be picky. The new king of Vod saw things differently. Called an investigation into war crimes.
Yeah.
Aren't all wars a crime to someone? Still, I raised my hand and volunteered.
You volunteered to investigate?
No, I volunteered my confession. No sense wasting time with an investigation. I was sent to Sunstone Rock for 2 years. The trade was fair.
I'm looking for good guys. Using violence and self-defense where you stop before causing permanent injury doesn't make you a bad guy, but it doesn't make you... Okay, so you want good guys, not bad guys. So for you, a good guy is only someone who does not engage in any sort of violence towards living beings, and property damage is okay, but you cannot engage in any violence. So you want somebody who's completely non-violent. So in order to be a good guy, you must be completely nonviolent. Uh, that does include then, so according to you, Krellin, you are a good guy if you watch someone murder someone else because you can't do anything about it. So being inaction in the face of violence makes you a good guy? That will be my question, Krellin. So if I'm walking down the street and I see somebody stabbing someone else to death, and I'm like, I can't do anything about it, does that make me a good guy because I do not? Or if I say, I refuse to engage in violence and so I will let those people die, does that make me a good person because I am not engaging in violence?
What were these things you did, Nil?
Acceptable things, under the circumstances.
Acceptable to who?
I don't
seems
make
terrible.
decisions. Let's just say the rules of engagement suited me. But rules are important. A structure. Cage. Otherwise, you know of those places, lonely places where people once were? Now just a hole cut in the world. Chances are, I was there before.
I don't consider grabbing someone and restraining them to be violence, as long as you're not grabbing them by the neck or something. But that is violence. Like, I'm sure you wouldn't like me to grab you. I'm sure you would, if I just grabbed you, I'm sure you would think of that as a violent act. I mean, I wouldn't like someone to attack me when I'm walking down the street. I would consider that violence. If somebody grabs me, like that's terrible. I wouldn't appreciate that at all. So you think that just grabbing somebody is not violent? So like if you tackled me to the ground when I'm just walking down the street, you wouldn't think of that as violence? I mean, it's illegal. It's considered assault and battery. I've been physically restrained when I was being violent before. I did not consider being restrained to be violence. I mean, it's assault and battery. It is a crime to grab people. So, you know. But Paladin says that hitting someone is never justified. It makes you a bad guy. The minute you commit violence on someone, you're a bad guy. So like all violence makes you a bad guy. That's that. But then you're saying that grabbing people is not violent. But that could be traumatizing to people. So I think What Remains of Edith Finch, because that's a completely non-violent game, Donkey Kong. Restraining someone out of the blue is violent. Restraining someone who is committing violence is not violent. But if context matters, then shooting someone should also not be violent, right? I mean, if you're allowing some acts of violence to count as violence and some acts of violence to not count as violence, why are you stopping with restraining and not shooting? Right? That if somebody's going to go and murder a bunch of people, and you can stop them from murder. Yeah, see, the thing is, I feel like if the minute you open up the idea that context matters, then I don't see how you can say that restraining someone physically doesn't count as violent if they're being violent, but punching someone to stop them from killing people is violent. Like, I feel like that does not seem... The minute you open up context, then I feel like, you know...
They sent you to Iraq for 2 years? Is this some kind of Karja ritual?
No, Sunstone Rock is a prison, south of Meridian, south of the Rain Gathers. Our new Sun King is a believer in rehabilitation, as am I. In the heat of a stone cell, in the dark, I learned to focus on what was truly important to me.
Restraining someone can injure them, right? You can injure someone by restraining them. You're putting your hands on someone without consent. Yeah, a judo flip isn't a punch, but it's still violent. I mean, the thing is, you can hurt people when, and like you were touching people without their consent. You were assaulting people when you restrain them, and you can say, "But I'm restraining them for good reasons." But someone could say the same thing about shooting, punching out someone who is a mass shooter. So, if we're going to sort of, I would like you to survey 100 people and get 50 of them to tell you that the guy holding someone back from something, someone is being violent. Well, you said, okay, so if I said, let's say there's somebody who's threatening someone, and you tackle them, is that violent? I think that more than 50 people would say yes. And tackling is a form of restraining. But I think they would say it's violent, yeah. And I think they'd probably say, but it's a good thing. Because if you said restraining, holding someone down, I could say somebody wrestles you to the ground, is that violent? And I think I could find people. Tackling is restraining. If somebody is like running across the street with a gun, you have to get to them.
Have you found a new partner yet?
I thought we were partners.
I have my own roads to follow, Nil.
And they seem to lead back to bandits. That works for me. I'm not suggesting a Karja wedding. I'm never lonely where there's killing to be done.
When somebody is being violent and you try to restrain them, in order to do that, you have to grab them. You have to hold them when they're struggling with you. Like, I mean, I think that it's hard to see restraining people as not some sort of
but the end for them.
Physical violence.
They were squalid lives anyway.
I think that's hard. But if the only way to be considered a good guy is to never engage in violence, I think that there are video games where when I was attacked in my home, a neighbor eventually pulled my ass assailant out of my home. I don't think my I think no, that's certainly violence. If you grab someone and physically throw them out of the home, out of somebody's home, that is violence. Now, it may be violence that people think is good, right? They might think that, like, because a lot of people think a lot of violence is justified. I think that there's I definitely think, I mean, if grabbing someone and throwing them out of the house, I think that's, I certainly think that is violence. But I think it's violence that a lot of people would think is okay. When I worked in special needs, restrictions had to reported, and we had kids with disability who made it necessarily for their own good. Being violence doesn't make it wrong or evil automatically. But Krellin's position is that violence makes you automatically a bad guy. So Krellin's position is that if you engage in violence, you are a bad guy. I need to drop that. Right, so for Krellin, physical force doesn't make you a bad guy. But violence makes you a bad guy. And Krellin is in parsing, restraining someone doesn't make you a bad guy.
Got too much already.
If they're going to be violent, but punching someone does make you a bad guy if they're going to. So like there's a lot of parsing that's happening right there. Let me get to my inventory situation again. Okay. I could get a lot more for this if I were not. Yeah, why is this my life? Why is my life having too much stuff? It is. So as to injure, abuse, damage, or destroy isn't a lot of parsing. Violence as a definition of morality is very strange regardless. The intent of physical force determines whether it is violence. So now it's about intent. So if I punch you in the face, and I say that I didn't intend to punch you in the face, then it isn't violence. Right? So it is not violence as long as I don't intend to do it. So I can do a lot of things to you as long as I don't intend to do it, and then I'm still a good guy. Okay. So if I run you over with a car, that was not violence.
Things really are changing.
I don't think that intent trumps impact. Like, that's not... yeah. Well, but he didn't intend to do it, right? Like, as long as you don't intend to do it, then you're still a good guy. Right? Like, as long as you just don't... As long as you don't intend to hurt anyone, you can hurt all the people you want. You can hurt people constantly. You can say, well, but I didn't mean it. Well, what if he were drunk? Because if he's drunk, then he didn't intend to it. He didn't know what he was doing because he was drunk. Right? And so... No intent if you're drunk. Wasn't your fault. You just, you know... Oops. But then, of course, this is also looking at violence as only physical and not emotional. There are a lot of things that you could do. Comes to the violence inherent in the system. There are a lot of things that you can do that would not inflict. And so, within your formation, emotional damage doesn't involve violence. Right, because you said to injure, and well, it looks like Krellin is only focusing on physical, not emotional, right? Because his definition of injury seems to be exclusively physical, because tackling people can certainly lead to emotional damage.
Bitter though.
Okay. What is all this about? Alright, so you know what? Hold on. I had a mount. I lost my mount. Who will include the threat of physical injury and the psychological damage that can create the violence? Who would include the threat of physical injury and the psychological damage that can create as violence? Right. So here's the thing.
Off you go.
Is my mount available for me? Is it still around? Tackling someone, restraining someone can injure them emotionally. And so that is physical contact that can emotionally impact someone. I think I might have just lost my mount. Maybe not. So if we're including emotional violence, then restraining would have to count as violence because that can emotionally injure people. Mount? I left my mount on a If I Google I mean, maybe you've never heard of emotional violence? So, I mean, but we're going back to the idea that if anyone who commits any form of emotional violence is a bad guy, then, so we'd have to have a video game that has no violence perpetrated by the protagonist, which I think is doable. There are a number of games, a lot of walking simulators have protagonists that do not engage in physical violence, so there are a bunch of those. If the only thing that matters is perpetration of physical violence, then I think actually there are quite a few games. Edith Finch, Firewatch, Myst, Donkey Kong,
She went that way.
puzzle games. There are probably a bunch of point-and-click adventures, sim games, farming sims. I would actually say there are probably just lots of, there are actually probably a lot of games where you never engage in violence whatsoever. Stealth games that don't involve killing people as well. But Paladin, Krellin's definition is not whether or not you're a jerk, but whether or not you engage in violence. Now, PH, Krellin did not say anything about being a jerk. Krellin said specifically engaging in violence. Sports games. Sports games would also, you have a bunch of good guys in sports games, because sports games, you didn't say anything about being a jerk. You said physical violence. Right? So you said violence, which for you is physical, or threatening physical violence. Threatening to punch someone would make them a bad guy, if only if it caused them emotional damage. So then what is your full definition that will make you, so to be a good guy, because walking simulators may not count then, so to be a good guy you must A, never engage in physical violence, and B, what else will make you a good guy? Can you do no positive acts and still be a good guy as long as you don't engage in violence? Do you have to be polite, or does politeness not matter? Like, what are the criteria for being a good guy? Because it may be possible that, according to your definition, there are no good guys in the world, period. Good guys may not exist in the world.
Eclipse, just like you said.
But not the ancients buried. Stay. Get back in there and fight!
Let me move my mount somewhere different.
They're still looking.
Let me move here. So, what makes you a good guy? Does Mario count? What makes Mario a good guy? I mean, he doesn't really do anything. What makes him a good guy? Babies inflict emotional and physical distress on their parents by crying late at night, waking them up. So if it's not just the absence of violence, no. But I want to know your definition. So, physical violence puts you out of good guyness, right? What will make you a good guy? If it is not just the absence of physical violence that makes you a good guy, what else is needed in order to be a good guy?
Soaked from melted snow.
Mario's a good guy because he's rescuing Penelope from Donkey Kong's unwelcome abduction. So, must you, in order to be a good guy, do a positive act? And is a positive act helping someone else? So, in order to be a good guy, must you engage in a positive act? If, in order to be a good guy, you must also do a positive act, I think a lot of the walking simulators would not count. Because many of the walking simulators do not engage...
Might be able to take them out one by one if I stay out of sight.
So I think that if being a good guy is not just
Nothing there.
the if being a good guy is not just oops.
They know I'm here now.
Dang it.
Farewell, fool.
How can I... You are very irritating. I cannot... Oh. How do I get... Oh, here we go. Here we go.
Full.
There we go. So if one has to engage in positive acts and not just the absence of negative acts in order to be a good guy, then I think a lot of the walking simulators wouldn't count. So I think that would be a... I think there would actually be very few games where you would be a good guy according to Krellin's definition. Because if you look at Firewatch, I mean, he doesn't, like, it is, okay, I'm not that old, but I played the other Mario games. I don't think that the protagonist of Dear Esther is a good guy, but...
No space.
But the one in Gone Home doesn't actually take any positive acts. Where that's the thing, the protagonist in Gone Home doesn't do anything. She doesn't take any actions. She discovers things, but she doesn't do anything positive, which I think would make it... What is all of this? Okay. Well, this is a new bow. No, she doesn't support her sister because her sister isn't present in the game. Right? I mean, because her sister is not... She never even sees her sister. And she doesn't... So she doesn't actually support her sister either. I mean, maybe... Right, because her sister... She doesn't even interact with her sister at any time in the game. So I think that would be difficult. Alright. So I think that it's hard to... Let's do some upgrading. There we go. Some of the things we learned is that she had supported her sister, evidenced by the fact that her sister... Except that she didn't know anything about her sister's love life. That was all, like, new to her. So... I don't know about that. But, like, in the game, she doesn't... In the game, she doesn't do anything in the game to support her sister. Let me get my regular bow back. And then put this war bow over there. And then let's modify our weapons. We got a bunch of stuff. So, like, I think that if... I think it's actually quite rare to have... Katie didn't explicitly, but she... Right, but that's not an action, right? Like, she didn't take any... But she didn't take any actions to... Let's increase our handling. And then let's, increase... Increase that? What is that? Corruption handling shock? Oh, that's good. I like that. That's good. I don't know what this bow will do, but we've got it. But see, PH, that's too far. That's too far. It's not about being evil. For Krellin, he says you must do good acts in order to be a good guy. The lack of good acts doesn't make you a bad guy. It just doesn't make you a good guy. He's giving you 3 states. It's not a binary, right? So he's not giving... Trust is not born from nothing. Trust is born from action and trust. But those actions don't happen on screen. But they don't happen on screen. So Krellin is giving us like 3 states: bad guy, neutral, good guy, and if you commit violence, you're a bad guy. If you commit no violence, that doesn't make you a good guy; it just makes you not a bad guy. In order to then be a good guy, you must then also engage in good acts. But what is this here? Dismount strike. Well, that's cool. Mount repair. Combat override. precision, critical hit, knockdown, fighting back. They don't have to happen on screen to make the person a good guy. You can have become a good guy by... Yeah, but but if things could have happened in the past, a person could have engaged in physical violence, and that, I mean, I just feel like there are going to be almost no good guys, right? What do we have here? A good guy by past actions and do nothing to about... Where are we at? Oh, alright. I need to head towards this. There's a lot of stuff here, is what we've got. I would say, I think that, by the definition, I think there are very few good guys in the world, basically.
Right where he said it would be.
I think that...
Not a bad selection. I'll put those to use. Why
If
are
I
you
once
doing
did
this?
something good as a
Because I
5-year-old,
want you to succeed. Good hunting.
and then only did neutral things for the rest of my life, I wouldn't make myself good.
Wait! Damn him.
Well, I will point out that I'm a bad guy. According to Krellin's definition, I'm a bad person, and I feel like I should put that out there. That so I'm a bad guy, according to Krellin, and I will just know that Krellin thinks I'm a bad guy. I did not punch a lot of other kids, actually. That is not something I did. But, I punched someone
Full
twice
already.
in my life. Let me... And once... but according to your definition, I am. Because if you engage in physical violence, then you're a bad guy. And so according to your definition, I'm a bad person. And, you know, I know it now, at least. Because you've given me an absolute definition, which makes me a bad guy. No, Krellin, you said, if you engage in physical violence, you're a bad person. And since I have engaged in physical violence, that makes me a bad person according to your definition. Not at this current moment, but hairs are definitely getting in the way. Just read some. Have you recently or frequently? I've murdered people. I have killed people. I was in the army. People are dead because of me, right? So there are dead people in the world because of my actions. So I cannot imagine that by your definition I'm a good person. Like, I have a really hard time imagining that by your definition, wherein if you engage in physical violence, you are a bad person, that I don't get to be a bad guy by your definition. That is, like, I have a really hard time imagining that one. That does not seem likely. It seems unlikely, according to definition, that I can be a good person. Unless there's a statute of limitations, in which case that's also really tricky. Yep, so I'm a bad person. Ooh, wait. Got another thing for me. I'm gonna grab this. I will take those and come back here. Yeah, and even if you didn't count my soldierliness, which I'm sure would, if I needed to punch someone to save other people, I would, and so that also makes me a bad guy. So I think I thought early on in this combo that I'm a bad person because I will be violent and perform violence to protect me and mine, or at least, yeah, right. So I think that here we go. We're getting close to finding out about my mom. Yeah, so I think by Krellin's definition that not only have I also it doesn't make you a bad guy. No. You said that committing violence makes you a bad guy. You said that violence makes you a bad guy. No violence but no goodness makes you not a bad guy but not a good guy, and then good acts and no violence makes you a good guy. That's a corruption zone. Again, opposites do not work in the real world. Ice committing violence makes you not a good guy. Okay, so I am definitely not a good guy, according to Krellin. I am not a good person, according to Krellin. Because not only have I engaged in violence, but I would also engage in violence to save people's life. So I am not a good person. Which, you know, that makes me sad. But people have definitions. And that is what it is. I want to go here and get that, but I'm not going to. I will wait. Yeah. Again, we have like different definitions of what makes a person a good person. You know, and that is, gang, I don't know what to do about, my skill tree. I don't know what to do about it. Oh, maybe I could just do that and use 3 arrows. Yeah, I'll do that. I now have all of the arrows all of the time. And then we can move into other things. Ta-da! Alright. So, this, I'm afraid, I think 3 arrows is good. This is where we're going to have to go, because it is 3:15. I have to eat breakfast. And then get ready for the last session of Night Witches. Well, you know, I don't mind running out of a little bit of ammo. That's all right. I can run out of ammo. I'm fine with it. I know. I'm going to eat though. I totally am. I'm going to eat. This is what I'm doing. So, everyone, I want to thank you all for being here. I'm Trooper SJP. This is the Academic Foxhole. We have a Discord, so you can join us in the Discord if you like. You can find me on Twitter at Academic Foxhole. There's a YouTube where we have the archive of our shows. And join me in 3 hours, 2 hours and 45 minutes for the final episode of Night Witches, an RPG that I'm streaming, and that is on Geek Space TV, so we can find out what happens with our crew of Night Witches. Yes, thank you. I really enjoy good conversations and philosophical conversations so much. PH, you're not ready? I am not ready either. I am not ready to say goodbye to all of them. I wish I had 5 more episodes. Krellin says that I wish I had 10 more episodes, and that's actually true. But, you know, I will take it. I also note that this entire conversation was about hypothetical fictional video game protagonists. And the fact that you all tried to use it. Do you have different standards for people to define me personally? Wait a minute. Your definition, though, is... Yeah, I did say eat breakfast. Hold on. I mean, I think that you were talking about what makes a person a good or a bad person, which is not, I don't think, confined, unless you have double standards. Unless you think that people in video games, that if you commit violence in a video game, you're a worse person if you engage in violence in the real world. Right now I'm trying to figure out your definitions, and I think to sort of say that if you engage in violence in a video game, you're worse of a person than if you engage in violence in the real world makes no sense to me at all. I think that so you hold video game people to higher standards than you do to real people? You think a video game person that real people can engage in like that I think holding video game people to higher standards than real people is quite odd to me. To sort of think that violence is more acceptable in real life than it is in video games is very odd to me. The idea that it's that is very unintuitive for me. Video games are crafted experiences. Well, there are less variables and less need for nuance. Yeah, that is, yeah, that's, yeah. I mean, yeah, I don't, I think that, punching a person in a video game, or punching a zombie in a video game, does not make you a worse person than punching a person in real life.
The snow's got a bite out here.
So that's, yeah, that's, yeah. Yeah. And also a person is playing the video game, right? So then I feel like we have to think about that relationship between you, a player, instructing a character to punch a zombie does not make you, the player, a bad person. But the idea that a character punching... So really the protagonist is crafted to not be a good person at the get-go is the point. But then the question becomes, what does it mean that you like being a bad person? That what you want is to engage in media where you're a bad person, right? Where you, if saving people by committing violence in a video game makes you a bad person or not a good person, and your desire is to engage in fantasy where you are not a good person, then what does that mean about you, right? What does it mean that that is what you want? Is that you want to indulge in fantasies where you are not a good person? Because the video games are not happening by themselves. They are being played by people. So, you know, I think that one cannot completely divorce the player from the game because the player is playing the game. But I also think that it's this is fair. This is fair. I do need to leave. I need to get food. No. Okay. I'm leaving. I'm going to get food. I'm going to get food. I'm going to go. I'm going to get food. I'm going to get prepared for Night Witches, which I'm not prepared for. All right. I gotta go, everyone. Thank you, every single one of you, Krellin, PH, everyone. Thank you for being here, and thank you for all the conversation and pondering through it and wrestling with it. And I will see you in 2.5 hours for Night Witches, everyone. Take care of yourself, be kind to each other, and I will catch you on the flip side. Bye, everyone.